From falling into boiling waters to getting kidnapped by rebels in a sulfuric desert, here are the top 10 most dangerous tourist destinations in the world. Number 10. Half Dome Yosemite National Park. Half Dome at Yosemite is popular for tourists from all over the world, especially hikers, with an elevation of 8,842 feet and a hike that takes 10 to 14 hours to complete. The National Park Service website warns that you need a permit to hike up Half Dome and that you should not hike the 14 to 16 miles if you are unprepared. The National Park Service also states you should leave at sunrise and keep an eye on the sun to know when to turn back. It is extremely tough and you might struggle getting down the trail in the dark, which is not the only hazard hidden by the Half Dome. Half Dome is also known for rocks falling off the trail, or as many call it, death slabs. Rocks from 5 to 15 feet thick and tons of pounds have fallen from Half Dome. These rocks are often part of Half Dome's popular hiking trail. The majority of the rock falls happening at Half Dome are caused by exfoliation, which is when layers of granite under extreme internal pressure are pushed outwards to the point of falling. No matter what the reason for rocks falling, more than 20 deaths have occurred on Half Dome itself. If you count the deaths that have happened on the trail leading to Half Dome, the number rises to 60. If you are heading that way, be extra careful. Number 9. Death Road, Bolivia. Yungas Road, which is more commonly known as Death Road in Bolivia, is a popular bike path about 40 miles long. In the mid-1990s, the Inter-American Development Bank, which is a development finance organization for Latin America, named Death Road the world's most dangerous road. Some of the conditions of Death Road include rock falls, no guardrails, limited visibility, and high cliffs. Between 200 to 300 tourists get killed on Death Road a year due to these conditions. Rains can often cause roadways to get slippery and cause rocks to fall right onto the road without warning. The high cliffs with lack of guardrails can pose a danger to those who are not looking where they are going or lose their balance while trying to look over the cliff and enjoy the view. Of course, the limited visibility leads to multiple crashes, even with the new paved 2-lane road, which was a switch from the unpaved 1-lane road that used to be the trail. However, there are still parts of the trail which are narrower and unpaved, so pay attention! Number 8. Cliffs of Moher, Ireland. Every year, the Cliffs of Moher in Ireland is visited by about 1 million people. The highest cliffs reach 702 feet, with the lowest at 390 feet, all dropping directly into the Atlantic Ocean. The cliffs are also prone to high winds and other bad weather which can change quickly, easily knocking someone off balance or causing rock falls. This is one reason there are warning signs all around the cliffs which warn people of landslides that have happened, causing unstable edges and other dangers. In fact, the Cliffs of Moher Twitter page also has warned visitors to stay on the official path and not get too close to the edges due to landslides, or if someone wants to conveniently get rid of you and push you off the edge. Other warning signs state that visitors are not supposed to go beyond the point of the sign or off the main trail, as doing so would put you in danger. There have been so many deaths at the Cliffs of Moher that there is a memorial marker which states, "In memory of those who have lost their lives at the Cliffs of Moher." And now for number 7. But first, be sure to subscribe if you're new here. Number 7. Mount Everest. The past few years, Mount Everest has been in the news confirming the deaths of climbers due to avalanches. However, Mount Everest remains a top tourist destination spot and has a problem with an overcrowd of climbers. Because of the drastic changes in weather on Mount Everest, which peaks at over 29,000 feet, your body can go through a lot within a short amount of time. High altitude can cause a sickness which is often acute and starts to hit at about 8,000 feet. Acute mountain sickness, as it is often called, shows up as headaches, extreme fatigue, and dizziness. However, the further you go, the more severe your symptoms of acute mountain sickness are. Once a climber is above 12,000 feet, the high altitude decreases oxygen, which causes shortness of breath and can lead to many other health concerns, such as coughing up blood and loss of consciousness. Mount Everest can be pretty deadly. Number 6. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. New Smyrna Beach in Florida is known as the shark capital of the world according to the Guinness Book of World Records. To date, there have been about 238 shark attacks. The popular surfing spot is also near an inlet that is a great hunting ground for sharks. In fact, there have been so many shark attacks that New Smyrna Beach now has signs up that read "Dangerous Marine Life." These signs refer to sharks in the water. However, this does not deter people from continuing to swim in the waters. Statistically, Florida is the most likely place in the world for you to get bitten by a shark. Fun fact, lightning strikes on Florida beaches can be similarly deadly. Number 5. Kilauea Volcano, Hawaii. Even though most people understand the dangers of active volcanoes, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park reports that over 100,000 tourists visit the areas of active volcanoes every year. Kilauea is one of Hawaii's most popular active volcanoes and is famous for its flowing rivers of lava, which is why the volcano has been called the Gentle Volcano. While a flowing river of lava might be a great tourist attraction, lava can also be hazardous to your health. But you don't need me to tell you that. The lava releases toxic gases such as carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Carbon dioxide can lead to health issues such as rapid heart rate and difficulty breathing. Sulfur dioxide can irritate the eyes, skin, and respiratory systems. There is also the risk of volcanic laze, which is when the lava from the volcano enters waters, causing the water to boil. These chemical reactions combine and produce a white, mist-like cloud called a laze. Lazes can drop water onto people that is known to be more acidic than lemon juice and causes irritation in the lungs and on the skin. Just be careful around all volcanoes. Number 4. Grand Canyon National Park. Grand Canyon National Park is about 1,214,400 acres and had over 5 million tourists in 2016. Rangers at the Grand Canyon perform more rescues than any other park. The west rim of the Grand Canyon has several areas where a visitor can walk up the edge of the cliff due to lack of railings. Actually, many parts do not have railings. While it is definitely an amazing view, it is also easy to lose your balance due to strong winds, vertigo, and fallover. The North Rim poses its own dangers, especially for people who have respiratory issues, as this rim is over 8,000 feet, which can cause altitude sickness, like I mentioned before. Not pleasant. The weather can be hot with temperatures reaching over 100 degrees, which causes health concerns such as heat stroke and dehydration, especially if you do not bring enough water. The Grand Canyon is also home to the Bright Angel Trail, which is one of the most dangerous hiking trails in America. Because of the high altitude of Bright Angel Trail, which is over 4,000 feet, the weather can change suddenly from extreme heat to cold to severe storms. With severe storms, there is a high chance of getting struck by lightning or getting caught in other storm dangers. The Colorado River is a whole other set of risks. Not only have many people drowned in the Colorado River, but even when the weather is extremely hot, the water can be freezing and give you hypothermia. Wildlife can also cause a danger to tourists at the Grand Canyon. The National Park Service website warns that the wildlife is not like visiting a zoo, and you should stay away from various forms of wildlife, like mountain lions. Number 3. Mont Blanc, Chamonix. Mont Blanc is known as one of the tallest mountains in Europe, reaching a height over 15,000 feet. Mont Blanc is also said to be a fairly easy mountain to climb, even with all the risks involved. One of the risks is the overcrowding of climbers, especially during the busy season of the summer months. Overcrowding can lead to competition with footing, which when you already have narrow areas to place your feet, can quickly become dangerous as one group tries to pass another. Avalanches are another risk on the mountain. Mont Blanc is known for rapid weather changes from wind to hot weather to freezing temperatures. When the weather gets warm, it can affect the snow, causing a snowpack to slide. Then, if the weather gets too cold, climbers have an increased risk for frostbite and hypothermia. Plus, there is also the risk of slipping and falling on ice, which may sound silly, but plenty of people have gone home with broken arms and legs from a hard fall. Number 2. Boiling Lake, Dominica. Boiling Lake has a specific cautionary message to tourists from the Dominican government, which states, "Do not go swimming in the lake." You'd think that with a name like Boiling Lake, a sign wouldn't be necessary. Boiling Lake is basically a flooded fumarole, which is an opening in the Earth's crust about 6 miles long, found in areas surrounded by volcanoes. Boiling Lake is a volcano hydrothermal lake which has seen a drop in the water level, along with cooler temperatures, but it is still too hot for swimming. Unless you want to risk getting boiled alive. Temperatures can reach about 180 degrees Fahrenheit closer to the center, though the waters are a bit cooler along the edges. True to its name, the waters can often be seen boiling, that is if the steam from the water isn't too thick to see the lake. Furthermore, deadly gases such as carbon dioxide are released from the depths of the lake. And then there is the hiking trail leading to the boiling lake, which is often slippery and muddy due to rain and can be dangerous while hiking. If you've been there, let us know because it sounds like quite the adventure. Number 1. The Danakil Desert, Ethiopia. The Danakil Desert was named to be one of the cruelest places on Earth by National Geographic. However, this is still a place where people want to go. While the Danakil Desert is known for its unique landscapes, it is also home to some of the hottest temperatures and frequent earthquakes. The landscape of the Danakil Desert features yellow sulfur fields, blindingly white salt beds, and green and blue hydrothermal water ponds. Because the Danakil Desert is basically a volcanic wasteland in which the land has melted underfoot, there is a threat of dangerous gases you might breathe in too while you're trying to avoid the sulfur fields. The Danakil Desert also includes an area with an active volcano. Besides all of these things, the biggest concern is there is also a risk of getting kidnapped. In fact, foreign offices will advise you never to visit this desert because of a border conflict with Eritrea, which is why a tourist might get more than they bargained for. Thanks for watching! Have you ever been to any of these places? Let us know your experience in the comments below. Are they really as scary as they seem? Remember to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!